Hare Krishna. जय श्री राधा कालाचंद जी की जय. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी. यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन. जमुना तीरवनचारी जमुना तीरवनचारी. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. जय राधा कालाचंद जी राधा कालाचंद जी राधे. जय राधा गोविंद श्री राधे. जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा. जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। श्री श्री राधा कालाचंद जी की जय। Thank you for joining today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapte Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaitva Gatadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtha Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedant Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So, we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam and we are on the first canto, chapter number 9, the passing away of Bhishma Dev, and we are reading text 3 today. Before we get started, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. It's 1.9.3. Please repeat after me. Bhagavan api vriprashre Rathena sadhananjayah Sater vyarochala nripaha Richota niparaha Kuvera iva guya he Bhagavan api vriprashe Rathena sa Dhananjaya Satir Vyarochata Nripaha Kuvera Iva Guhyakehe. Word-to-word translation. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. Api, also. Vipra Rishi, O sage among the Brahmanas. Rathena, on the chariot. Sa Dhananjaya, with Dhananjaya Arjun. Saha, he, teh, by them. Vyarochata, appeared to be highly aristocratic. Nripaha, the king, Yudhishthir. Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods. Iva, as. Guhyakehe, companions known as Guhyakas. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O sage amongst the Brahmanas, Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, also followed, seated on a chariot with Arjun. Thus King Yudhishthir appeared very aristocratic, like Kuvera surrounded by his companions, the Guhyakas. Purport. Lord Shri Krishna wanted... Okay, would anybody like to read the purport? Okay. Lord... Now I was asking if anybody wants to read the purport. Sure, Prabhuji. Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, would you like to repeat on the mic? Gopal Prabhu God. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
I think he can. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Lord Sri Krishna wanted the Pandavas to be present before Bhishma Deva in the most aristocratic order so that he might be pleased to see them happy at the time of his death. Kuvera is the richest of all the demigods, and herein King Yudhishthira appeared like him, Kuvera. For the procession along with Sri Krishna was quite appropriate to the royalty of King Yudhishthira.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, this chapter is so important, the passing away of Bhishma Dev, because we see how he led a very glorious life. Throughout his lifetime, he made a lot of sacrifices for his kingdom, for his family. He made a sacrifice to his own father that he would not get married, he would never get married, and he would never sit on the throne. He would never be the king. He got Dhritarashtra married, he got Vidur and Pandu, King Pandu married. So he did so much sacrifice throughout his life. And even when Pandavas came along, he got them education, Kshatriya education through Dronacharya. So not just we see that he did live a glorious life, but he also left this world gloriously. He fought, he took a vow that he would protect whoever would rule in the kingdom, and he did protect them, and he fought until his last breath. We see how in Bhagavatam it actually comes across the Veer Rasya, which means the exchange between the beautiful exchange between Lord Shri Krishna and Yudhishthir on the battlefield, where when Yudhishthir and Arjun were going to fight, Bhishma Dev and Arjun were going to fight, Bhishma Dev first struck his arrow towards near the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna as paying his obeisances. That's how he was, one of the reasons that he was fighting from the Kauravas, what he also enjoyed seeing Shri Krishna right opposite, right? I mean, Lord Shri Krishna was on Pandava's side, but Pandavas could not see Krishna face to face. But Bhishma Dev, he was looking at Krishna the entire time. And when he finally got to fight with Arjun, Bhishma Dev first put his arrow at the lotus, near the lotus feet of Krishna as his obeisances. So we see that all acts that Bhishma Dev has done throughout his life, whether be it in the kingdom, at home, on the battlefield, or now even on his deathbed, all of it is super glorious. It is so glorious that this is a message for all of us, that definitely we have to live a life full of service, and we have to live a life serving the deities, serving Guru and Gauranga. At the same time, we also should leave this world gloriously, just how Bhishma Dev left this world. But how can we do that? How can we leave the world gloriously? Antakala mamevam smaran muktva kalivaram. Antakal, how can we remember the Lord at the final time? How can we remember something that we have not done throughout our life? If you want to, at the time of death, which is so crucial, we don't know, like our eyes are closing, everything is fading away. Our hearing power, our vision, our, we get choked up, the body is not working, we lose all the ability. But the only thing that is functioning at the time of death is our ability to remember. Our remembrance. That is what Krishna gives us at the time of death, that we don't lose it until last moment. We are still able to remember. But now this is on us. What do we want to remember at the time of death? We usually, in our scriptures, it is said that at the time of death, those things will come up again, what we have actually done throughout our life. So that is something we should ask ourselves personally, that when we are serving or when we are actually chanting, how attentive we are, how conscious we are during our services, how much are we actually remembering the Lord when we look at Him or when we read about Him? How much have we surrendered ourselves to the Lord? Because how much real it has been throughout the life, that real will play at the time of death. As a movie, it will actually come in front of you, and that is what you're going to remember. That is what all of us are going to remember at the Antakal. So here Bhishma Dev has been so fortunate, and he's such a great personality that at the time of his passing away, Lord Shri Krishna is present in front of him. Not just Lord Shri Krishna, imagine all the demigods have come, because all the demigods can see that the Lord himself is present, and wherever the Lord is there, all the demigods follow him. And Bhishma Dev was such a magnanimous, was such a huge personality that he was famous in all the three worlds. And all the demigods just came to witness when a devotee passes away. It sounds like a very, of course, somebody passing away is a very tragic incident or a tragic thing to see or to witness. But here, it is not an ordinary human that is passing away, that is leaving the body. It is an amazing devotee who has done huge services and huge sacrifices, that is leaving this body. And just to witness that, everybody is present there, because it is so glorious. Even to witness this is a very is a glorious thing for us to see, to even read about it. So when Lord Shri Krishna came, he made sure that he told Yudhishthir Maharaj and the Pandavas that you have to dress, you have to present yourself in front of your grandfather, in front of Bhishma Pitama, like he wants to see you like you are the ruler now, you are the king. He fought for this. And just like a father feels happy, a grandfather feels happy to see that, okay, my grandchildren, they are safe and, they are doing so well. That is what Yudhishthir Maharaj and all, they dressed up like aristocrats and they were dressed so nicely. And of course, they were feeling at a very low point right now, watching their grandfather pass away. But this was the instruction by Lord Shri Krishna given to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Because that would make Bhishma Pitama very happy. Bhishma Dev very, very happy, very joyful. So we can see that we know about the vow, about the benediction, about the boon that Bhishma Dev received, that he could leave his body according to whenever he wants to live, according to his own desire. Ichha Mrityu Vardhan, which means that according to his own desire, he can leave the body. So even though we know that Arjun had put Bhishma Dev on a bed of arrows, right? He was lying on a bed of arrows on the battlefield. It was over 40 days that Bhishma Dev was lying like that. The arrows smeared through his body, through his head, through his arms, legs, stomach, everywhere. He was just lying over there on the bed of arrows for over 40 days. Because it's a beautiful thing now Shukadeva Goswami has mentioned, that Bhishma Dev, of course, first he wanted to see Pandavas winning the war. He wanted to see that moment. And he also wanted to see that he wanted to wait for the most auspicious time. So the word comes Uttarayan in Bhagavatam, that he was waiting for Uttarayan. Uttarayan is a very auspicious time. So it is said that when somebody leaves the body during the period of Uttarayan, it is considered very auspicious. But Shukadeva Goswami says that Uttarayan means Uttara was the mother of Parikshit Maharaj. So the son of Uttara who took shelter of Narayan, Uttarayan. Who is that Narayan? Krishna. So when Lord Shri Krishna came, that is the period of Uttarayan. That is how even Shukadeva Goswami explains. So Bhishma Dev was waiting for Krishna to come. He was waiting for the Lord to appear, and he waited until then for 40 days, going through all that pain. He waited for that time so that he could leave his body in the presence of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. It is very difficult for us to even imagine what kind of physical pain Bhishma Dev was going through, but he still waited. He waited for that time for Krishna to come. And maybe from this, a lesson that we all can learn is that we need to live that life, or we need to pray, or we need to live so devotionally that we can see Lord Krishna at the time of our death. Because that is what decides our next birth. What we see at the time of death, what we imagine at the time of death, is what decides our next life, next birth. What are we going to be? So after being, taking birth again and again, chewing the chewed after lifetimes and lifetimes, if we miss that golden chance, if we miss this golden human form of life, which gives us the ability to practice devotional service, which gives us the ability to question the purpose of life, which gives us so much intelligence that we can use in the service of the Lord. If we are going to waste that, then it's just going to be lifetimes after lifetime, and we are going to feel like we're never going to get out of this cycle. But Krishna assures us, Lord Shri Krishna says that just surrender unto him. Just surrender. Just surrender your heart, surrender your mind. Anything that you do throughout the day, everything can become service unto the Lord. We just have to surrender our mind to Him so that our consciousness can always be thinking about the Lord. And this consciousness saves us at the time of death. Because how can we remember someone or remember to do something at the time of death when we've not done it throughout our lives? So each moment is important, each minute is important, even if, because we don't know when our antakal, our last time will come. Our, when is it that we're gonna actually not wake up like we do every day and, feeling, okay, like there's so much time we have. So our scriptures say that athato brahma jigyasa, that we have to inquire right now. It talks about the urgency of inquiring about purpose of life, purpose of our life. Right now, not, it doesn't say after 50 years, after 20 years, after after your retirement. No, it just says the right time is now. Even when the right time is in the womb of the mother, that is where a jiva, a living entity, should receive the knowledge of the Lord. That's how Parikshit Maharaj, in the womb, when Krishna protected, in the womb of Uttara, he protected Parikshit Maharaj. That was when the first time Parikshit Maharaj had darshan of the Lord. Now we may think that, okay, that was possible in Dwapar Yuga or in some other yuga, but what about Kali Yuga? What about us? Will the Lord come and save us? Will the Lord come and take out His precious time and just come and save us during our difficult times? And we find ourselves fighting with dilemmas every single day, but we don't see, okay, the Lord is actually coming and telling me what to do. But yes, the Lord is there. He is there through His scriptures, through Srimad Bhagavatam. He is present. He is actually, this is Lord in the literature form. Lord is not restricted like us, who can only be restricted in one body. The Lord is present in every living entity, and not just humans, every living entity as in animals, and not just that, He's present in every single atom. Because He's present in every single atom, we can feel that the Lord is everywhere, but He's also in the Bhagavan form, where He's in a personality form that we can have personal exchanges with the Lord. He's there in the form of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, where He's talking to us. So Srimad Bhagavatam is about the glories of the Lord, about the glories of the devotees. But Srimad Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord Himself. Something that, like, it's a message from the Lord. How can we not take that seriously? It is the message by the Lord. So He has come to save us, like He came to save Parikshit Maharaj. He came to save the Pandavas. He appeared to save Draupadi. He appeared to save Prahlad Maharaj. Nashing Chaturdashi is coming soon. Chaturdashi is coming very soon. So it's going to be amazing again hearing pastimes of how Lord Nrsimhadev appeared to save his dearmost disciple, Prahlad Maharaj. So it's not that He only comes for His only few devotees or special devotees. He comes for all of us. We have to call out to Him like Mother Yashoda used to call out to Krishna, still calls out to Krishna. We have to call out to Him like Draupadi called out to Krishna. She raised both her hands. Just like Draupadi, we have misplaced our surrender at times. There's in Bhagavad Gita, there's special section that comes where we have misplaced our surrender, in the sense that, like, first Draupadi went to her husbands to ask for help in that the whole sad episode of taking away, like dishonoring Draupadi, disrobing her, she first went to her husband, she went to the teacher, Kripacharya, Dronacharya, she went to Bhishma Pitama. She begged everybody to help her. And nobody could do anything, nobody did anything. And then when she looked at Kripacharya, Kripacharya just pointed his finger above, indicating that she should remember the Lord, because he's the only person who can save her. And in just one motion, one indication, she understood what she needs to do. She was reminded, just like a guru reminds a shishya, we keep forgetting, right? So that's the duty of a teacher. He reminds us that he connects us to the Lord. And that is what Draupadi did. She did not raise one hand. She initially raised one hand. She was holding her sari with the other hand. She was still trying to cover herself because she just had that one piece of cloth around her which was being taken away. So she was holding it and she was raising one hand, and then she realized that, then she just completely surrendered and called out to Govinda. And she shouted, "Hey Govinda." And that's when Krishna came. So Krishna is already there, he's there for us, but we need to cry out for him. We need to call him out, like how we do in love, right? Just like a baby, like when a mother is cooking in the kitchen, the baby needs, I mean, maybe you've heard of this in an analogy a lot of times, but I really like it, so I'm going to repeat this. A baby baby starts crying. And the mother comes and quickly gives something to eat to the baby. Now the baby gets busy and he stopped crying. Now after 5 minutes, he starts crying again. So now the mother comes and gives a toy. And now the baby's happy. He's playing. But again, after some time, he now cries and cries so badly that the mother has to come, leave everything. She tries to give certain things, but the baby's still not calming down. So now the mother has to leave everything and come to the baby, because nothing else is going to make the baby happy but the mother herself. So we have to be like the baby. Right now, sometimes, we are given certain things. Okay, we get something and we are like, okay, we stop crying. We're given something and then we stop desiring for the spiritual happiness, That's how easily we get satisfied in the material world. But the internal satisfaction is not there. And when we really cry, and then the mother has to leave everything and, pick us up. That's how our Father, Krishna, will do. He will just pick us up. But we have to cry for him, like really cry. How can we do that? There are ways we can do that by hearing pastimes of how pure devotees hanker for the Lord. Because we have it inside us. It is dormant. That love is dormant, but it needs to be triggered. It needs to be we need to be reminded of that love within us. We are misplacing that love in objects, temporary relationships or temporary objects, or temporary or desires that we feel will give us eternal happiness, but it does not stay forever. So we have misplaced our surrender into small things. Maybe it could be just some desire I had a few days ago, and I felt, okay, maybe I should just get this fulfilled and it'll be all good. But then you realize that it's not the end of it. Your desires keep piling up. So it's like an itch, it's like an urge. The more you fulfill it, the more it increases. Except the spiritual desire. The spiritual desire, the more you fulfill it, the more satisfaction you get, and the more you desire it. So it is a beautiful cycle when you have a spiritual desire. The spiritual desire to cook something for the Lord, to chant attentively, to sing for the Lord, to dance for the Lord, to write letters to the Lord, like how Rukmini Maharani wrote letters to Krishna. Even we can write letters to Krishna. We can. There are devotees who read here, who take a book and read to the Lord, read out for the Lord, pleasure of the Lord. There are devotees who dress the Lord, who do arti. We can just do like offer flowers and incense and like so many things. Like Krishna, there's like it's unlimited ways we can serve the Lord. And when we experience that joy, it does not restrict just to ourselves. We feel like passing it on to others. We feel like sharing that with others. That's why devotees go out on book distribution. Because they cannot just keep this joy to themselves. Paropkar. They want to, first we have to do our own janma sarthak kare. We have to first make our life successful, and then we can give that joy to other people and pass on that love of Godhead to others. So, yes, I think we can. This is all from my side for today's shloka. But if anybody has wants to add on something or has any comments or question, please feel free to ask. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. It's there, Mataji.
I just thank you for the beautiful class, and I just really wanted to just actually appreciate a point that you made when you were talking about the surrender of Draupadi and how we need to just, raise our two arms and surrender. And when I think of that, I'm like, I don't know how to do that, and I feel overwhelmed by the possibility of doing it. But I like that you said that we can read about those who are doing that, and that triggers that within our heart. So I just, that really spoke to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think when we read about, when it's in Nectar of Devotion, it talks about ragatmik love, prem, or spontaneous devotion service. It does say that we need to hear pastimes about ragatmik devotees who have that love for Krishna, like Mother Yashoda, Nand Maharaj, the gopis, or we can read about different pastimes in Gaur Leela or in Ram Leela, like how Shabri had that intense desire and love to serve the Lord. So when we hear pastimes like, oh my God, how did Vidurani, the wife of Vidur, with feeding banana peels to Krishna out of love, and she was throwing away the bananas, and she was just in that bhav, and Krishna was actually taking those banana peels. And when you hear that, those kind of pastimes, it's like, the same thing, right? How can I ever reach to that? But long way to go. But it just shows, even just hearing these pastimes is it's purifying. It's a part of our purificatory process. It's a part of our sadhana. It's a part of our starting of our relationship with the Lord. Because that Supreme Lord is present inside you. So when you are hearing that pastime and there is maybe some trigger of the desire of developing that love, even if you don't have that love, but you have the desire to develop that love, the Supreme Lord listens to that desire and He will eventually fulfill it.
I think the eventually is the key word there, because when you think of Bhishma, like the example you gave, he had to wait 40 days in searing pain, and eventually he got to see the face of the Lord.
Yeah, that's why I said it. Nishchayat dhairyat, utsayat nishchayat dhairyat. So we need to have the enthusiasm, the determination, and the patience. So I think nicely pointed out that eventually, that gradually, but we have to wait for it. We can't be like, okay, it's been a year, I've been doing that every single day of my life, but Shabri waited for 13 years. I think, I don't know, maybe more than that she every day, without fail for years, she filled the path with flowers. Every day she used to go and pluck fresh flowers. It's not like, okay, fine, today the Lord didn't come, maybe tomorrow, after 10 days we'll get tired, right? Of course, if I talk, because the material body is so limited and the mind is so limited, it starts playing with us. She did that for years without fail because she believed in the instruction of a guru. Her guru said that one day Lord Ram will come at your doorstep. And every day she got the bear, that fruit, and she tasted it to see which is sweet one. And, she did that without fail for years. So yeah, that dharya, that patience has to be there, and the determination and the enthusiasm. It's a combination. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And thank you very much for explaining each and everything so nicely that it straight away went into our heart. I also completely add on to this and understood that complete surrender, as you said, until and unless the complete surrender is there from our side, then definitely as the mother comes and the child cries out. So in the same way, if we are completely surrendering means somewhere we have to take out our ego also. Somewhere we have to take that ego, okay, that this part can be done by myself or with the help of other person who are there in the material world and all. Until and unless we have that clear thing in our mind, nobody else can really help us. Means only Krishna is there who really can help us. Materially, we can understand that, okay, I am being helped by this person, and the person who is helping may also satisfy his ego, and we also. We somewhere in our little mind understand that this is what is complete help. But the real help is only when we surrender ourselves and when we ask to Krishna. He only understands what is the real help for us, and then he comes to us and he will actually help us. Means we have to surrender ourselves completely and taking out all the ego. And that point I understood. I think it is from all the things. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I think it's a nice way how you interpreted it. It's quite reflective. Yeah. Thank you. I think this battle with the ego is such a daily affair, right? Hare Krishna, Mataji.
This is a rhetorical question, I think. Hare Krishna, wonderful class. Please do this more often. I know you're very, very busy serving Radha Kalachandji, but this is very wonderful. Do we have to first surrender to Guru before we can surrender to Krishna?
I think, yes, Krishna has sent his representative. Guru is not different from the Lord in the sense that Guru is actually the representation of the Lord. So yes, it is said that if we want to reach out to the Lord, we must reach out through our spiritual master, through a teacher, through a Guru. Even because you see, when it is said that if you want to serve Krishna, we want to connect with the Supreme Lord, we have to go through Balaram. We have to go through Nityanand Prabhu, or we have to go to Srimati Radharani. So Balaram is the Adi Guru. He's actually the Supreme Guru. So yes, it is said that, and it is so nice, right? Because if you want to establish a relationship with someone or you want to please somebody, you will first reach out to the person closest to that person to know what they like. If somebody wants to please somebody, they'll reach out to the mother or to the dearest friend that, okay, what is he like? You know, I want to impress this person. What can I do for them? Like, for example, you cook Chinese because, see, I will cook Chinese for them because I like Chinese food, for example. But I don't know what that person likes, right? What the Lord likes. So somebody close to the Lord will tell me that, okay, this is what they like. This is, like how Narad Muni wanted Mahaprasad from Lord Narayan, and he went to Lakshmi Devi, and he said that, I want prasad, and she said that, and I think he said that you have to take it when the Lord is not looking at the plate. And then she's in a dilemma because she's pressing the feet of the Lord, and she's thinking, how do I do this? Because the Lord has said that don't give my prasad to anybody. And in that instance, not generally, but in that instance, and she's in a dilemma, how do I do this? Because I have to fulfill desire of Narad Muni. And then Vishnu sees, Narayan sees, looks at Lakshmi Devi that she's tense, she's not in usual happy mood. And then she shares her dilemma with the Lord, and he says that, okay, do one thing. Just send somebody to distract me. I will look somewhere else, and then you can just take away my plate. And she's like, okay, I would do that. So it was through Lakshmi Devi that he could get Mahaprasad of the Lord. So there are many instances where I think it's a beautiful question that we must reach out through our Guru to the Lord. because then that sambandh is eternal. That relationship gets very strong. Because, I have seen that sometimes there are days I will feel very strong intensity of doing service, and there are days I will probably not feel as strong. I'll feel like, okay, maybe in another day. Because sometimes our relationship is built on whimsical, on our own whims, right? It can be unstable. So, but if we go through our guru, he will teach us through sadhaka practice. He will teach us through right discipline. And then he will only, it is only through Guru's mercy that you will get darshan of the Lord. It is only through the mercy of Gurudev that we will get, we will establish our sambandh with the Lord. So Diksha actually means establishing our sambandh with the Lord. That is the starting of our relationship. One might say that we are already part and parcel of Krishna, so we already have that sambandh. But Guru connects us in that disciplic chain, in that succession, and connects us to the Lord. So, yeah, I think if I'm able to answer your question. Sorry. Any other points, add-ons, or questions? Okay, we can wrap up. It's time for Mahaprasad. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.